Hey there, everybody, it's Kim Davis. Okay, so I just wanted to jump on IG for a few minutes. I've got like a lot going on today, as you can imagine. A lot of you have been inboxing me and texting me, wanting to talk about what's happening with the Houston Texans. So I thought, let me just talk to a lot of you at one time. So here's what happened today. The Houston Texans, in case you have not heard, have parted ways with Bill O'Brien. He's the head coach and the general manager. So what happens next? So Romeo Crennel will be the interim head coach. So what does that mean? It means he's going to run the team for the rest of the season. Who knows what's going to happen at the end of 2020? I had somebody say to me, well, why can't they get somebody from another team? Because you can't take a coach from another team once the season started. They're under contract, they're working, you're going to have to wait till the season's over. The only options would be to hire somebody not working, which probably wouldn't make a lot of sense, or to promote somebody within your organization and make them the interim. That's what they did. Romeo Crennel, of course, was the assistant head coach. He has been the defensive coordinator a couple of different times on this team, and he has been the head coach before when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, what are my thoughts? I was really surprised. When I first got the news, I was really surprised that the Texans made that decision. It's probably time. No, I'm sorry. It was definitely time. This experiment was not working. We can talk about the fact that the team has won some division titles. Yes, you give credit for that. But the team has got to get to the next level. And the 0-4 start, the bad loss at home yesterday to Minnesota, a team that was also 0-3. They were both teams were 0-3 going into yesterday's game. They didn't look good, right? The offense just looked stagnant. The offense couldn't move. Deshaun Watson has not looked his best. And so when Bill O'Brien announced that he was going to continue for the rest of the season, calling the plays, which that may have been like, okay, you know what? This experiment is not working. He's been here 7 years. I think they've gotten what they could out of Bill O'Brien, and it's time to go do something else with this team, right? What do you do with Deshaun Watson? You just signed him to a new deal, and so you've got to, don't waste his years. Now, here's the thing. I don't know about the general manager position because Bill O'Brien was head coach and general manager. Now, Jack Easterby, which was his executive vice president of operations, I think that's his title. I can't remember, but he worked really closely with Bill O'Brien. As far as I can tell, he is still here. But I don't know. You don't need just a general manager. You need a general manager / magician. Because think about it. They don't have any early round picks, right? The Miami Dolphins have their first and second round pick coming up. You've given away a lot. You've spent a lot of money. And you don't have any draft picks. So building a team, and the scouting department is different. Bill O'Brien has been tweaking this department quietly over the past few years. So what's going to happen? We don't know. But what we do know is that on Sunday, when the Houston Texans host the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're going to have Romeo Crennel as their head coach. Many of you are talking about DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, that was an awful move. And I've never had an opportunity to speak to Cal McNair. I've tried. I've asked for it. Maybe we will at some point. He just doesn't really talk. Today we had a press conference and we talked to Bill O'Brien. Like, the guy just leaving. So, still haven't talked to Cal McNair. He issued a statement, thanking Bill and his family for what they've done, all those things. But I'm sure sitting at home or listening, not at home at the game, but listening to commentators and everyone around the league talk about how your coach has just blown up this organization, has blown up this roster, and that keeps and continues to talk about the DeAndre Hopkins move. So we remember DeAndre Hopkins because that happened this year. And DeAndre Hopkins was arguably the best player on the team, right? That move was crazy. You didn't get anything for it. You didn't get a first round pick. It was a bad move. You've left this team depleted because Will Fuller was as good as he was. He's still good. He's still fast. But he really benefited from having DeAndre Hopkins on the other side. I mean, I've talked to you about that. There's no point in me relitigating the fact that I think the DeAndre Hopkins move was not a good move. I think everybody around the country that watches football agrees. He's gone. But it wasn't just Hopkins. Last year it was Hopkins, and before that it was Clowney, and before that it was Dwayne Brown. I mean, you can list the number of players who this team could really use right now. So we have what we have. The organization has what it has, and they're going to have to do the best with it. Maybe this is something that gets the players, I don't want to say energized. They don't want to lose. They're competitors, right? Tyrann Mathieu, he's got a Super Bowl ring now. Thank you for that. And does Cal run the team or his mom? I don't know. Bill O'Brien ran the team. I think we can be really clear about that. I think Bill O'Brien ran the team. This decision today was probably a combination of Mrs. McNair and I guess Cal, as far as I can tell. Again, never had a conversation with him, so I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see how they move forward. Do they keep Jack Easterby? I mean, he was right step in step with Bill O'Brien. So, but listen, they didn't just fire them because fans were saying fire him. Fans have been saying that a long time, right? When he traded DeAndre Hopkins in spring, fans were saying, that's crazy, he's got to go. But they went with it, right? They gave him all the power. So he's a general manager. This is a team he's put together. He's handled the talent acquisitions. He's handled all of it. And he's a head coach. And now he's making the calls. He's calling the plays. He's always been intricately involved, can't even talk now, with the offense. Even when he, named an offensive coordinator, he's always had his hand in the offense. That's just, he has. And yesterday he was giving the calls to Deshaun Watson. I don't think it matters who gives the plays to Deshaun if they're not good plays. I've heard some of you text me and ask about Eric Bieniemy, who is the offensive coordinator with the Kansas City Chiefs. He'd be great, right? He's got a job right now. But you're going to have to bring in somebody and work, because you've made the commitment to Deshaun Watson. Bring in somebody and give this kid, this young man, he's not a kid, a chance to be great. Like, give him a chance to be great. Give him some leadership. Give him some guidance. Give him some real coaching. And somebody's going to have to come in and work with the roster you have. So for those of you who say, well, you know what, the Texans have a talent deficit. Yeah, but, they have the draft, right? What they can get in the draft in 2021. And they don't really have a lot of, I say the draft, they don't have a first round and a second round pick. So what are they going to do? We will see. But I know that whatever has to happen in terms of building this roster, this team is good enough to not be 0-4. Let me say that. Their roster's good enough to not be 0-4. I was not surprised that they started 0-2, playing the Super Bowl champion Chiefs, and then the Baltimore Ravens. Two of the best teams in the league, okay? Pittsburgh, still a really good team, Minnesota, and what they can't afford to do is to slide any further. So they play Jacksonville next week, and they need a win. This team needs a win, not just because it's good to have it in the win column, but they've got to get in the habit of winning in 2020. Because when you start losing and then you slide, and like you say, the ball comes down, the play comes down to the last play of the game, right? When Will Fuller can't quite grab it. They thought he caught it. Play rules that he didn't. You just can't have that. And there's so many play calls that we can go over, but the reality is it's a new day. It's as new a day as it can be. I don't know how much difference it will be, how different it will be. I think there'll be a different energy. I think there'll be a different kind of a spirit, hopefully. And that Romeo Crennel will, he'll let his coaches do what they need to do, and we're just gonna see what happens. But you're right, Dennis. You got to play with the hand that Bill played right now. That is really all you have. Alvin says you got to play like every play counts. Absolutely. Absolutely. Every play counts, right? Every single down counts. You can't afford to continue to get off to the slow starts. I don't know what that is, why the offense can struggle, and then you're always having to play catch up. The defense has not been able to create and generate any turnovers. Like, that's a problem. Through 4 games, they've got to be able to create some turnovers. I think the defensive players like Weaver. I've heard good things about him. I think he's capable of running this defense. And so we're just going to see what happens right now with Romeo Crennel at the helm. The organization is an interesting place, and I will be really curious to see how it moves forward. I mean, even in terms of how they communicate with you, it's not just a communications team. I think they all take their cues or took their cues from Bill O'Brien. Well, he's not here now, and while how the team communicates with the media or the public is obviously not at the top of Romeo Crennel's list, I think they are going to have to reflect who he is more. And he's a very different man than Bill O'Brien is. Different is the word I'm going to use. So every play is drawn up to score. Ask Odell about yesterday. Yeah, the offense has been less than desirable. So, there's a lot of names out there. I think we obviously think of Eric Bieniemy at the top of the list, right? Like, he deserves the head coaching job. And what could he do to come in here and work with the Deshaun Watson to really elevate him and take him to the next level? You don't want to break Deshaun. Like, you don't want to break him. And I'm not trying to say he's fragile. This is not a knock on him. But give this young man a chance to be great. And, man, I just hate that D-Hop is gone. But he's gone. He's gone. I digress. Let me reel that back. He's gone. Like, you don't have him. But who do you have that you can develop, right? And now you need your scouting department to figure out in this really odd kind of college football season what's out there. Who can you get in these later rounds? What else can you do? So, Chalk Talk is tomorrow at 11. I will have a full show, but I wanted to jump on Instagram for a little bit. I'm going to be taping doing Isaiah Carey's show, The Insight, tonight. But I wanted to jump on a little bit because a lot of you have reached out to me, and I wanted you to at least hear from me before I do that. I may jump on a little bit later on Facebook if you guys say, yeah, Kim, let's talk about it on Facebook. But I wanted to at least say, hey, I hear you. It's interesting. We're going to see how this team looks coming up on Sunday. Of course, I'm sure on Wednesday, all the questions are going to be like, what do you think? How do you feel about Bill being gone? I don't really want to ask the players about Bill O'Brien. I mean, no disrespect. Like, what y'all going to do Sunday, right? How are you going to move forward? What do you do differently? And, the other thing is, I'd imagine there are some players on this team, if y'all not doing anything since, they don't have a lot of options with this roster, then you're going to have to move some people. So if you're not going to be here and play and compete like we need you to and really win, then we're going to have to give your spot to somebody who wants it. I mean, that's all I know, right? That's all I can say. I got some Cowboy friends. I would love to talk to y'all, but I don't really have time right now. We can talk about it on Chalk Talk tomorrow. Join me at 11 o'clock on Facebook and also on my YouTube page. And again, I may jump on after 7:30 tonight and talk to you guys on Facebook and YouTube about this whole NFL week. It has been a week. Like, all I could talk about today is football. I haven't even had a chance to talk about the president, okay, and COVID and all of that stuff. So y'all take care. Make sure you're following me right here on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, Kim at Kim Y Davis. Is that it? Yeah, I forget my name on Twitter, at Kim Y Davis. And make sure that you check out my Facebook page because I will be giving you updates as soon as I get them, and I'll be talking to you when I can. I'll see y'all later. I'll post it here if I'm going to go live on Facebook later. You guys post it or let me know here or either on Facebook if you'd like to have a conversation just about what's happening around the world of sports. And then the other thing before I go, John Lucas's name has been thrown out as a possibility for head coach of the Houston Rockets. What y'all think about that? All right, everybody. See y'all later.